Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle? Well, here it is, my results for this awful experience summoning for Dokkan Festival exclusive INT YAMCHA. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So yes, what happened on this banner is it was rough. I only made 2 videos. This could have easily become a very long despair arc. I was just kind of annoyed and didn't really have the motivation to summon while recording, right? Because generally I like to talk and things of that nature. I was pretty disgruntled, pretty angry, especially after the second video, and it just kept going, guys. It just kept going. So finally I did pull the unit, right? So this is the summon that I ended up getting. It was a Zeno animation, so it was something, it wasn't like a surprise or anything. I was like, okay, finally. But here's the question. How many Dragon Stones did it take me to actually summon one copy of Yamcha? So we look at the probabilities of this shaft, and this is going to be a shaft here. After 1,000 Dragon Stones, your probability chance, again, I know it's a 5% chance every single time you make a summon, and there's going to be a percentage chance every time you do it. But the more you do it, right, the more times you actually pull the trigger on summons, you have a probability chance, right? So it was a 76.2% chance of me pulling one copy of Yamcha using 1,000 Dragon Stones. And usually 1,000 Dragon Stones is where I'm very happy. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm able to get them in 1,000. I'm fine with that. But when it starts to cross over the 1,000 mark, right, this is supposedly 88.4% probability chance at 1,500 Dragon Stones, which is 30 multis. And I'm just using 30 multis, 20 multis, etc., etc. I know there's a discount step up on here. I'm not really even counting that. So, and then at 2,000 Dragon Stones, there's a 94.3% chance. That's 40 multis on not a buy 3 get 1 free, things of that nature. Again, yes, we had one step up. But in 2,000 Dragon Stones, you have an almost 95% chance of pulling one copy, not rainbowing, one copy of this particular unit here. Now, what did it take for me? All right, drum roll. You guys want a drum roll here? It took me 2,800 Dragon Stones, 56 multis technically. You know, again, I didn't even count this step up, right? And of course, I didn't even count the tickets. So in reality, it was more Dragon Stones than this because I didn't count the tickets. And I did over 56 multis, but let's just say 56 multis is what I ended up going for this one unit. And after 50, right, after 50, you have a 97.2 chance. So I was on the opposite end of about a 3% chance, right, that I wouldn't get this unit out of that many multis. Again, there's that probability. It's a 3% chance, a very low chance, but I was on that side. And that is really frustrating. And again, I know this is how gacha games work. I've been playing this game for how long? 7, almost 8 years now, right? So this is, I don't say normal, but it gets frustrating when you get to this point when you're above and beyond 1,000 Dragon Stones, and then well above beyond 2,000 Dragon Stones, getting close to 3,000 Dragon Stones. So really, when you, and I saw some messages, right? I saw some messages in the second video, which it could have been worse, right? I could have continued on and made another video. I could have separated that video in that second video there into 2 videos, but and really created the despair arc like I normally do. Or I could have just made a very long silent summoning video, but I wouldn't have enjoyed that at all. So the reason why I do this, right, is that yes, it is content, and I'm still a casual content creator when it comes to Dokkan here. In May 8th, 2017, I said, okay, hey, I love this game. I'm gonna be playing it. I'm making content, things of that nature, and I will always get one copy of a brand new Dokkan Festival exclusive or an LR unit. I made that promise then, and I still continue to do it now, like, almost 6 years into this promise. I generally am very hard-headed when it comes to promising and saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do, right? And I actually do it. So this is the reason why, fortunately, I make content, and there's some dollars that come into it to subsidize a ridiculous, summoning session like this. But ultimately, this is the reason why. So don't worry for those who are saying, hey, you know what, you have an addiction problem, whatever it is on there. Yes, I love to gamble. I love to do those types of things, but I'll never spend more money than I can ever afford. And I don't worry, I'm fine. There's not even, it's not even scratching the surface on, you know, hitting my pocketbook. What it's frustrating for me is needing this many Dragonstones to summon for one copy of a brand new unit. I understand if this was like going for rainbow and stuff like that. That's, you know, that would be my issue. I'm getting greedy. I'm trying to get as many copies as possible. And here's the thing: I know probably some people rainbow this unit in 2800 Dragonstones. Okay, but I was going just for one copy. And when you start looking at what was the results from all this, I ended up getting one copy of Yamcha and getting 6 copies of Yajirobe. Right, so I rainbowed Yajirobe +1, and again that was very annoying. And I got so many other featured units, and this is kind of brings me to the situation of always thinking: is there a lower chance of summoning rate for the brand new Dokkan Festival exclusive, the brand new LR unit? And numbers, I don't know, data miners have kind of looked at this already and they say no, but it just feels that way, right? It just feels that way sometimes, a lot of the times, maybe most of the time for some of you. But for me, there's so much evidence that, I don't know, there is maybe a lower amount because I've had so many shaft sessions when it comes to like lower tier type of banners like this. Like the hype ones, for some reason I do fairly well in hype ones. I didn't do too well in the Godku banner just right before this. Not as bad as 2800 Dragonstones, but I was getting pretty close to around 2000 Dragonstones. So again, I think that's an underlying problem with Dokkan, and especially for pay-to-play players that continue to put money into this game. You know, there needs to be at least some sort of change after this many years. The red coin system doesn't solve the problem that we're having, that you're seeing right here, right? The red coins are able to get dupes, or you get your first copy down the road after the fact, after the hype is over. And sometimes it's irrelevant. And in this case, this unit is going to be irrelevant pretty soon anyway. But the ideology of all this is that making sure that players, you know, are hyped about whatever the new unit is and still can get it at a reasonable rate. So when you take a look at that here, how does this compare to other Dokkan Festival exclusives when it comes to the shafts, right? So 2800 Dragonstones actually does not beat the worst shaft I've ever had in my career of Dokkan, and that was back in 2020. Actually, 2020 was the worst summoning year of my life, right, of all Dokkan that I've ever played Dokkan, and Beerus, physical Beerus, was one of those. So I did about 1800 Dragonstones on video, and then like more than that off camera, right? So I used 3710. I'm probably like 2,800 and some change, because I did a couple singles. I just didn't count it. I didn't want to go back and look at everything on there. I still need to calculate it all just to make sure that the numbers are correct when it comes to the amount of Dragonstones I used overall. And but anyway, 3,710 Dragonstones was actually used for one copy of Beerus, and this was back in 2020. And again, this was I had the same conversation. Like, they need a pity system. They need some sort of scenario where someone who's, you know, spending their hard-earned money has a light at the end of the tunnel, because you spiral down to this despair and it just doesn't become fun anymore, right? Especially if you just won one copy. And in this case, this was the same feeling like Beerus. I think Beerus back then was even worse. I was just like, oh my god, what is happening here? So, you know, you're talking about 900 Dragonstones more than what I spent with Yamcha, and again, that's just insane, right? It gets to the point of insanity, and that's why some of you guys are commenting, is like, why are you doing this kind of scenario again? I just want one copy of the brand new unit when it comes out, so hopefully I can spend less than 1,000 Dragonstones. But when it comes to 2,800, that's when the despair and anger comes from. So is it the worst shaft I've ever had? No. There's 2 units that is in my Hall of Fame for the worst shaft of all time, right? And these are the 2 that, if anyone can beat these numbers here, and most of this is on camera, by the way, so you can see the crazy despair I had. LRUI Goku is the worst yellow coin banner I've ever spent on. This was crazy, the amount of LRs I ended up actually pulling in this on this banner, but it took me over 4,155 to be exact, is what I spent for UI Goku. Right, crazy as it sounds, but that's what it was. Again, I think all of this was in 2020. It's just coincidence. It all happened in 2020. LR Buhan was the worst period, right? It's a Dokkan Festival exclusive LR, right? It was on the Worldwide Celebration. And that was 48, almost 5,000 Dragonstones for one copy. Again, not to Rainbow, guys. Not to Rainbow, for one copy. So in a sense, you know, TUR 3,700, 4,100 for a yellow coin, 4,800 for a for Dokkan Festival exclusive LR. Now Yamcha 2,800. It probably is in my top 10 shaft. I have to go like really dig on my old videos and try to remember, you know, what was the shafts when it comes to the overall, you know, history of my channel and then my experience. But 2,800 is probably up there, right? Probably up there for one unit, especially a unit like this, not really overly hyped. So really what it comes down to is just we really need a pity system. And I've always said a pity system would actually make Dokkan more money. So for those individuals who maybe spent 1,500 Dragonstones on a banner, they go, oh, okay, I just need a few hundred more. Let's say 2,000 is the pity, right? They just need to purchase 500 Dragonstones or try to figure out a way to get the 500 Dragonstones, grind it up or do whatever it is, and they know that they're going to be guaranteed that new unit. And I think that's pretty fair. It's 2,000 Dragonstones. A lot of people say, oh, 1,000, things of that nature. 2,000 is really when despair settles in. And again, I really truly think that if a pity system was created for 2,000 Dragonstones on a brand new banner, guarantees you a copy of the new unit, I think that's a huge win for Dokkan if they end up doing it. Now, of course, during the 8-year anniversary stream, they mentioned we don't have any plans of a pity system, right? They said this clearly, like, well, no, we're not working on a pity system. We have the coin system, things of that nature. And again, the coin system doesn't replace the hyped behind getting a new unit when it releases, right? You have to wait months before it returns, and then you can purchase them down the road. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video. I want to tell you guys the experience of Yamcha, and it had to be Yamcha to do this to me. I am okay, right? I was frustrated at the time. I was angry at the time, but I'm fine now making this video, just doing a little recap here. And I just want to urge Dokkan, and for those in the community that want to have this discussion here, you know, show them this video, have a discussion on here. Why does someone have to, you know, go through 3,700 Dragonstones for one copy of a brand new unit and over 4,000 for other units on here? It doesn't become fun. Yes, the company is supposed to make money, but I think they would make more money with a pity system. So anyway, enough on my soapbox, I guess. This was a long enough video. I can't believe it's 13 minutes of me rambling on here. But if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I guess in the future, I'll just continue to make a series, an arc of a despair arc. Because some of you guys are just, you know, are like looking for a despair arc, especially in this one. It would have been a good one because it was painful, very painful. Like the last 600 Dragonstones, I was just like, I can't believe I'm still buying this. I actually should have made an entire video about, you know, just listening to the in-game purchases. Anyway, all right, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.